it's time for tonight's UPMC game-changing play of the day.
All right, UPMC game-changing play of the day. That has to be a 79-yard touchdown from Devlin Hodges to James Washington with a stiff arm on BW Webb. We've discussed what BW stands for, and we've come up with Burnt Weekly, Beaten Weekly, whatever, but he's not playing very well. And he also had a couple of PIs against him. Right now we're talking about the Pirates. Jason Mackey, Ben Cherington comes to town now. How successful will he be if the ownership dynamics do not change with regard to how they spend?
Well, Bob, I'm not looking for Ben Cherington to come in here and lead the Pirates to a 95-win season. I think that's unrealistic. But I do have a bit of optimism as far as building a farm system and doing some of the things that the Pirates weren't able to do before. Ben Cherington worked for a large part of his career in Boston. You can label him as a big market GM, but he's actually done a lot of stuff with drafting, player development, player procurement, stuff the Pirates have not done well enough. And I think he's going to add to their practices. I do like the hire quite a bit. I think it's going to take some time, though. I think there's going to be several phases to this thing. But as far as 2020, I don't think they're immediately going to get an injection here because Ben Cherington is in there. I think they're going to be better than 69 wins, certainly, and they might even be a 500 team with him in charge. But I think it's going to take some time for him to really get things the way he needs them.
I'll co-sign on that. I think it's less about, hey, is he going to have the wherewithal to go out and sign 7 one-year free agents like he did in 2013 for the Red Sox. I think it's more about, does he get the right people in place that have the right kind of mindset and right kind of eyes to find the kind of talent like Mookie Betts and Andrew Benintendi and Xander Bogaerts and guys like that, and then get them developed the right way through the minors.
Yeah, if he does any kind of job here in Pittsburgh like he did with the Red Sox, building a player development system, then you'll feel really good about what Ben Cherington has done with the Pittsburgh Pirates, I think, 3 years from now. But I think we'll start to see, probably over the course of the next month, I would guess, that we'll start to see the first of those chess pieces moving around the board. Does Starling Marte get moved, and if so, for how much? How much do they have to have a Chris Archer type build himself back up to get any trade value out of him in July? How much are they going to stick with Josh Bell? Is he a part of that rebuild, or do they move on from him to try and boost that farm system and that player development pipeline that Ben Cherington will probably be focused on? I think those are all things that we'll start to see come together in the next, I guess, 4 to 6 weeks. Yeah,
it's going to be interesting to see, but it will take some time. But at some point, I hate to sacrifice years. It seems sometimes this franchise does that a lot looking ahead, and perhaps that's where we are right now. But we'll find out what he can do. Player development is the #1 thing that all teams, with the Pirate payroll, you got to have that first and foremost, and then you could add on hopefully down the road. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll talk about Pitt, Penn State, both losers, and which is a better job, Penn State or USC, next.